Take a look at multiplying complex numbers. There's several ways to multiply complex numbers. We're going to look at algebraically first. Treat the I like you would a variable. It's not a variable, but that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to distribute if we can. So distributing that, you get 8 minus 12i. Again, this is another distribution, 3i times negative 1, then 3i times negative 2i. The big difference is to look for I squared. Okay, so we know that I squared is equal to negative 1. So we'll substitute I squared with negative 1 and get negative 3i. Then negative 6 times negative 1 is positive 6. All right, now you do need to write that as real and then imaginary, so we're just going to flip this around. So 6 minus 3i. Okay. All right, let's take a look at another one. So what does something mean squared? It's the same thing multiplied by itself twice. All right, we're going to use the arrow method. All right, so we're going to distribute it if it's necessary. So 4 times 4. Which is 16, then 4 times I, which is 4i, then I times 4, which is 4i, then I times I, which is I squared. Okay, and then again, remember, you do need to combine the imaginary numbers, so that's going to be 8i. And then you have I squared, and what do we know about I squared? You can substitute it with negative 1. Now combine your real parts, so 16 minus 1 is 15, plus 8i. And then just make sure you write it as real and then imaginary. So looking at the box method, you take the first one and write it on the top, then you take the second one and you write it as a column. Then you draw a box. And then you separate between everything. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. 2i times 5. Negative 3 times negative I. And then finally 2i times negative I. Then you combine the middle boxes. Why do I combine them? Because they're the same. So that's 10i plus 3i is 13i. Then the last box, all we have is that negative 2i squared. And remember, I squared is what? Negative 1. So you're going to substitute a negative 1 for there. And then negative 1 times negative 2 is going to give me a positive 2. So you're going to have negative 15 plus 39 plus 2, because that will change. Let's combine the real numbers. Negative 15 plus 2 is going to give me negative 13 plus 39. Okay, so again, real and then imaginary. All right, so we're going to use the box method again. The only difference is when you find the answer, you're going to multiply it by 3. So let me start you off. So again, the first one goes across the top, so 2 minus 3i. And the second one goes up and down, so 4 plus 8i, and then draw a box. And whenever you get this answer, after multiplying that out, you're going to multiply by 3. So go ahead and try it. All right, looking at the next example, we're going to do the difference of squares. You remember when you have a plus or minus and the exact same thing, it was the difference of squares. So what you need to know is you multiply 4 times 4, which is 16, and then 5i times 5i, which is 25i squared. And it's a difference, so it's subtraction. I squared is negative 1 again, so that changes it. 16 plus 25, which is 41. It is a shortcut. You can definitely multiply it out if you want, or you can remember the difference of squares. All right, so that was algebraically. Now we're going to look at geometrically. Okay, so how do I do this using a graph? All right, so we have to rewrite the property so it looks like this. So we're going to rewrite this to 4 times 2 plus I plus 2I times 2 plus I. Once you do it that way, you can just graph it. So we're going to graph 2 plus I. So you're going to plot that number in the complex plane. So 2 and then 1. So that's 2i. And we need 4 of these. So we're going to do it again. So we're going to do 2 to the right, 1 up, 4 times. All right, so that's going to be the first part, the second part. So we'll do the first part first. So we need 4 of these. So 2, then 1. Right 2, up 1, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to do the second one, which is going to say 2i. So now we need to know that what I means. I means you're going to rotate it 90 degrees. What does that mean? Instead of going to right and up 1, you're going to go the opposite, which is up to left 1. Okay, up to left 1. And you're going to do this twice. So up to left 1 because it's 2 times that. So I is rotating it 90 degrees. Once you have this, it's just like you were adding before. I'm going to translate that vector to this side. So up to left 1, up to left 1. And then the distance from the original point, the origin, to the very end is my answer. So if I count that out, that's going to be 6 and 8. So that's 6 plus 8i. Okay, so that's how you add using the vectors. All right. Now I'm just going to check to make sure that this is right algebraically. So again, with the box method on the top, and then the second one going down, draw a box, 2 times 4, which is 8, then 2 times 2i is 4i, then I times 4, then I times 2i. All right, combine the middle, so that's going to be 8i. Write everything else down. And then remember, I squared is negative 1, so negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Okay, then combine them. That's all you have to do. So let's practice.